Hello and welcome to another video. I'm Everett Hoffman, and today we're going to talk about the basics of white balance. What is white balance and what does white balance do? But first, we need to understand what color temperature is. Now, light comes in many different colors, and we see these different colors with our eyes every single day. Just our brains compensate for these different colors so they appear more natural to our eye. So color temperature is measured on a Kelvin scale, and that Kelvin scale ranges from 1000, which is a very red light, all the way up to 10,000, which is a very blue light. So how does our white balance relate to color temperature and this Kelvin scale? So when we set our camera's white balance, we are giving our camera information about the color of light in our image. And that color of light is what is the color temperature of light and where does that color temperature fall on the Kelvin scale. And this can be done by using a neutral color such as gray or white, which is where we get the term white balance. And when we set our camera's white balance, we are telling our camera this color is white, and for our camera to make the proper adjustments to make that color appear white in our image. Now I know all of this can sound super confusing, so let me show you an example of what this looks like. Right now, I have a white piece of canvas, and this canvas should appear to be white because I've already set my white balance for my scene in my current lighting conditions. Now I have this light back here that appears to be orange. So what if I wanted this orange light to appear to be white? So then I would go through in my white balance settings and say, hey, this orange light actually needs to appear to be more white. So let me show you what that looks like. So there you have it. Now this light is going to appear to be more white, and the rest of my scene is going to be blue because I've changed my white balance to be balanced to a orange color. And this white piece of canvas is now going to be blue. So in order for me to get everything back to normal, I would have to re-white balance to this blue piece of canvas. So now that we have re-white balanced, everything should look more normal. And this white piece of canvas should appear to be white once again. And this orange light should appear to be more orange. So why is setting our white balance important? It's important because it allows us to change the colors in our scenes to appear like they would in real life. It also allows us to get a more natural looking image in different lighting conditions. For example, in this scene right now, everything should look natural to our human eye. Now, if I went outside and didn't change any of my white balance settings, then everything would appear to be blue. So the way I would fix this blue color is to white balance the colors outside to where they look natural once again. Now, if I went back inside with my outside white balance settings, then my scene would appear to be more red or orange until I re-white balanced to the inside colors, making everything look more natural once again. So now that you have a basic understanding of what white balance does, how do you change your camera's white balance? So most cameras come preset with white balance options, and the first being auto white balance, and you should never use auto white balance. I repeat, never set your camera to auto white balance. And the second one, you have incandescent, and you'd use that if you're shooting under incandescent lights. And then you have fluorescent if you're shooting under fluorescent lights. Then you have daylight if you're shooting in direct sunlight. And then you have cloudy if it's cloudy outside, and shade if you're shooting in the shade. Now these presets all have their place and they'll give you a generally good looking result. So next you have custom white balance, and this method can be done by using a white piece of paper or a white balance filter as your reference point. So how you would do this is you would take a photo of your white piece of paper or white balance filter. So after you've taken your photo, you would go into your camera settings and choose custom white balance, and then choose that photo that you just took as your camera's reference point, and it'll look at the data from that photo and balance your scene. So the final way, and the most specific way, is using Kelvin temperature. And you can measure this by getting a light meter. And what a light meter does is it will measure the Kelvin temperature of the light in your scene, and then you can go into your camera and change your Kelvin temperature to match what your light meter is reading, and then your scene will be balanced. Now, if your camera does have the ability to adjust its Kelvin temperature, but you don't have a light meter, which I don't blame you, they're super expensive, I can give you some general rules to follow when setting your camera's Kelvin temperature. So if you're shooting outside in daylight, that Kelvin temperature typically falls around 5600. If you're shooting with red or yellow lights, those Kelvin temperatures are gonna be around 1000 to 4000. Now, if you're shooting inside with just lights around the house, or say you bought some lights, on the light bulb, it'll say the Kelvin temperature that it's set to, and if you bought lights, then in the description of those lights, it should have the Kelvin temperature listed. So all you have to do is go into your camera settings, change your Kelvin temperature to match the Kelvin temperature on the bulb or in the description, and you'll be generally good to go. So that's all I got for this one. Tune in next week when I talk about composition. Let me know if you have any white balance questions in the comments below. As always, like and subscribe for more content like this. Skiddly bop that bell to be notified when I post another video. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one.